did.
So suddenly, at the end of the war, he discovered that he has nothing. No wife, no works, no painting. And that's the moment that Alex de Rothschild, that was helping some of the artists to start a new life, started helping him. And she did a fantastic job. And I had contact with the Baron Rothschild about it, and I'll tell you later about it. Now, here you see the influence of the war. How mother and children,
yes,
a group of people running away,
yes.
trying to escape.
This is
Here
one of my favorites of Mia Liborio. This is a very, very, very beautiful.
Yeah, this painting is at the Tel Aviv Museum. And they contacted me and they asked me, Nathan, maybe you can tell us a bit more about these works, because we don't know. He has disappeared, and we were surprised. I'll tell you what happened with them. I found some. I met Rothschild, and we discussed about it, and asked him if he knows about some of the paintings that I knew that were sent, and he said, no, we don't know anything. So I came back to Israel and I contacted the museums here, and I telephoned the Tel Aviv Museum, and they said, we have never heard about Kirszenbaum. So I said, okay, if you have some information, call me. And an hour later, they called me and they said, come quickly to us because we have great works and we don't know where they are from. And what happened is that Kirszenbaum was supposed to make an exhibition in Israel in 1954. And he died from cancer. So the work arrived to the museum and nobody knew about it.
Okay.
But these are the three prophets. Each one of these paintings is 2 meters high. So we show this in the different exhibition already. Now here what we can see that Kirszenbaum comes back to his sources.
Yes.
The small village of Stashov where he grew, the people of Stashov, it's like a Chagall in a certain way.
Yes.
Similar, you had the fiddler on the roof, you had the musician, you had they had a similar background from different parts of the world. One from Poland, one from Russia.
There is this nostalgic. There is the nostalgic of Chagall, the nostalgia of Chagall that at one point he had for his heritage, because especially when Chagall was in New York, he had this nostalgia to come back and again reconnect with his roots. And I see something similar here. There's like nostalgia as well.
That's right, but he said it. He was asked, "What were you influenced by Chagall?" And he said, "No, Chagall was a symbolist, and I was telling the story of my life, how I grew and where I grew. But both of us, we had the same sources. He in Russia, I in Poland." And I think that one of the typical worker that he has got is the fiddler on the roof, that both of them had this at home, that they grew with it. So here you can see that as a result of what happened during the war, they're looking for a better world.
Yeah.
And I think that when you look at this, you can really realize how his style is changing, but he's telling a story that is important for him and for us, obviously, to keep.
Mm-hmm. And those paintings, where they are?
These paintings, I don't know where they are. Maybe they are the Israel Museum, but I'm not sure. Usually. We haven't found all the paintings. Okay, we have found some of them, some of them in the museum, in the National Collection in France, but Many of these are, and one of the things that we found is in Paris, there was an exhibition in 1954. After he died, the exhibition was at the beginning of the 1960s, organized by Rothschild, and there was a photographer there. And one day I was at the Pompidou Museum, and I was sitting there in the library, the Kandinsky library, asking if they know anything about Kirszenbaum, and they helped me tremendously. They didn't know a lot. And one day I was there, they said, maybe we have some photos. And the responsible called the girl, he told her, okay, go and have a look at the diapositive that we have got. Maybe there is something. And she came back and she said, great, we have got something. And then we found 100 photos of Kirszenbaum works in the Pompidou Museum.
Wow.
Okay, these are the prophets. These are the three paintings I told you that the Tel Aviv Museum didn't know where they're coming from. And then they called me and they said, Nathan, come quickly. We want to show you something. Maybe you can tell us what it is. And I come to the museum and I see 2 meters high paintings. And what is interesting with the prophets is the prophets are pessimistic in a way, but optimistic in a way. They speak about the past and they say there is a future. And this is something that comes back in his work, and which I believe is very important.
So those are like kind of, he made around the 1940, 1949, during this time?
That's right. You know, but most of the paintings that we have found are describing the little town he was living in, Stashov. And there you can see when you see the Messiah, for example, it's the same. You see the people in the village.
Yeah, they connect with the first drawing we saw at the beginning of
that's right. So what we can see, I think it is, and is important in Kirszenbaum works, is the way the style is developing with the history of the period. You can find the little village in Poland at the beginning, then the moving to Germany, where art was really the top, and then to France, and here you can see something that I mentioned before, that at a certain point he was in France and he had no money. Nobody had money there. No money of these artists, because it was the stock exchange crash. So then they made sculpture because it didn't cost money. You took earth and you did something. And we succeeded to find several of his works, and you can see that he's a complete artist. Painting, caricature, drawings, sculptures, and this is great. This is what I think is very important, and I'm always looking forward to see the development of an artist.
dall'ICIT